music and dance being at the heart, regardless of any culture or tradition or a country across the world, you'll find that people will find reasons to connect through music and dance and the joy that brings. Hello and welcome to Sweet Liberation, where we're going to be talking today about something we both love so much, don't we, Luke?
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about dance. You'll be like, what on earth is this about? Why are these people talking about dance on Sweet Liberation? Because what we're finding out, scientific evidence and basically anecdotal evidence from all humans across time, that dance is so good for us. And Luke, you and I love it, don't we?
Love it. We love it. Yeah, love the feeling, love going out, love getting ready to go out.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it so much. And it popped up on my newsfeed. So I started to have a little look at this. And I want to just give you some of the evidence and the research, because we are basically a test that dance is a massive game changer in lifting mood, making you feel better. If you're dancing with other people, making you feel like together, feeling like united.
The bond. Yeah.
What else?
You form a bond, and the euphoric feeling around actually, getting into that space where you're feeling the music, maybe just tapping your foot. And you could be in the kitchen, you could be making cake, you put the radio on or something, you hear a tune.
Anything. We love dancing so much. And it is part of our app as well, the Sweet Liberation app. It's a really important part of our app. But we wanted to share some of the research and evidence, and it's coming out all the time on dance. But a 2024 study from the University of Sydney showed that following a structured dance program, regardless of genre, is as effective as somewhat, or even sometimes more effective than other physical activities in enhancing psychological and cognitive health.
Yes.
And we would attest to that.
Definitely.
You go out dancing and you feel better.
You do.
I mean, it's just in simple terms. And it keeps on going. There's a lot
more stuff.
Tell
us about what it's doing in terms of the cognitive health, because as you know, as you get to a certain age in life, a lot of us start worrying about the declining cognitive function because it's a slow thing. So how is dance helping?
Let me share this with you. I'm just reading this out, like literally. A systematic review published in Age and Aging in 2021 examined the effects of dance on cognitive function in older adults, and the review highlighted that dance interventions could improve cognitive abilities, particularly executive functions in this population, meaning you move better, you feel better, and it actually helps with your cognition, your ability to function and process information and just stay with it.
Well, I think there must be something in your research there that shows how the left and right brain communicate within that, because of course you've got that beautiful, the structured part of one side of the brain talking to the other more artistic side of the brain.
Well,
right?
Apparently, what I'm hearing and reading around neuroscience now is that we're not talking about left and right brain anymore, which is really interesting because we're talking about much more subtle communications. But I would say we'd sort of describe it more as the logic side of the brain, the more sort of logic and processing side of the brain, where you're trying to make sense of things, and the other is the more creative and intuitive part of the brain, which is around emotions, feelings, expression, creativity, and intuition as well. So I think that, we're knowing a lot more about the brain. I am not an expert on neuroscience, but that is what I'm finding out as I'm tapping into this research. But it's another thing around neurodegenerative conditions. And I think one of the things, let me just touch on this, when the blue zones, one of the things that they did find when looking around the blue zones is some of the countries where people did really well, they actually did dance into old age. And I can attest that. Haven't you noticed that in Southern Europe and countries where they are kind of, the elderly are still part of sort of dancing in the community environment, that they are out and about still into quite old age.
Yes. And well, again, cognitive function, but what a great way to improve your general fitness without thinking about it. I mean, it's not, this is not being on a treadmill, is it?
No, it isn't. And that's the thing. Fun. And you just don't feel it. That's the thing with dancing. And it's saying there's another study study on dance and neurodegenerative conditions, and the research highlighted in 2023 reported that ballet therapy offers significant benefits to individuals with multiple sclerosis, including improved movement, balance, and psychological well-being.
Wow.
And obviously so many different physical benefits, including another systematic review in the BMC assess impact of Latin dance. I can attest to this. Latin dance and physical and mental health. The study concluded that Latin dance effectively promotes weight loss, enhances cardiovascular health, and boosts mental health, mental well-being by reducing stress and improving mood. I have got to say, in my culture, from Latin America, we do dance into, you know, it's just any excuse to get the music on
and party.
Literally, I have come with the most ridiculous, I will come up with this example in a minute, but the most ridiculous, extreme examples of any reason for a person to have a party and dance and put the music on. But I can say, in terms of aging, my grandmother, who passed away at the age of nearly 91, she was dancing nearly to the end. I mean, she just loved music, and I used to be in a dance music act in the 90s, and she used to come to my gigs, and she'd be dancing with the young kids at the front, and it was quite hardcore dance music, and she loved it.
Yeah,
there was like no genre that she wouldn't dance to. She just loved it so much. What about you?
Amazing.
Why do you love dancing so much?
I love the feel. I love the there's always that massive sort of endorphin rush, isn't there, about it? And I think also I'd like to touch on a little bit about this thing where you might hear a track from the past and you kind of teleport yourself back. You have that paradigm shift and go, oh,
it's a time
wow.
portal.
And it might be something, you know, from back in the 70s, and you suddenly, time portal, you go, oh yeah, I remember when. And there are certain tracks like that we all kind of then, you know, you relate to. But for me, going back to the question, what I like is that I love the togetherness. I love the feeling it gives you. I think that it's, there's just such a lovely release that is so much fun, so effortless. Yes. And I love the fact that, you know, you could be anywhere. You could say be in the kitchen with the children. You put a bit of music on, and, you know, you're dancing away, having fun. And it's about that for me. It's the fun. It's just the whole, and actually going out. I love the whole sort of the whole thing. I mean, I know that if ever
we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, it just the whole thing about that is great.
I love it. I love everything about dancing. And since I can remember being teeny weeny, music in our culture in Latin America, any Latin American country, my mum's from Argentina, my father is from Venezuela, and I was born in Venezuela. And there's just music blaring out everywhere, regardless of people's socio-economic group. There's just music blaring out everywhere at all times. And people are just dancing and smiling. And they just seem to be, it seems to bring this kind of feeling of feeling well with very little, and being satisfied and happy and joyous. And it brings that sort of feeling. So that's why in our cultures, and I would say pretty much, if I'm sure any Latin Americans listening to this, Latinos, please comment. Do you have this in your family? Because I've seen this across South America, Latin America. People just get together, dance, and enjoy themselves. Like my auntie used to have gatherings every Sunday with her kids, and I know there'd just be some music, the kids would be dancing, and it's just any excuse, any reason for enjoyment of life, and it sort of uplifts you, and that's the thing that I love.
Yes,
being very little and dancing all the way through till now I'm 51, and anytime you give us an opportunity, or I say to you, shall we go out dancing? We never ever say no.
And it's fantastic. And the other thing I was going to say about children as well is, you know, with parties and everything, you know, and being out with the kids, you know, as soon as you put the music on, all the kids are up and dancing, aren't they? And everyone's getting into the music, and so anything like that. Even with the school discos, I remember it was the thing that all the kids loved the most.
They loved it, and just bringing people together for no less in our culture is no particular reason, just for any reason, just any excuse. The sun is shining, let's have a party and just enjoy ourselves.
Or barbecue and music. I mean, it's
anything,
a done thing.
Any reason.
And people were doing that a lot in lockdown, weren't they? They were having parties, and again, that shows that, you know, from a mental well-being perspective, everyone recognised that actually, let's get together and have a bit of a party.
It is
rightly
brilliant.
or wrongly. You know, who knows? But
I mean, the thing is, I think, lockdown sort of exemplified this feeling of people not being able to be together and disconnecting from each other, and the massive impact that had on people's mental health and well-being. And then the opposite of coming out of lockdown and people finding reasons to connect with each other again, and music and dance being at the heart, regardless of any culture or tradition or, you know, a country across the world. You'll find that people will find reasons to connect through music and dance, and the joy that brings, you know. And I've been so blessed to have kind of friends from all over the world, and to be able to participate in their celebrations, or any reason that they can bring really for dancing. They always used to invite me, come and get everybody up dancing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, yes, you can be out, and all, it's that, you know, there can be empty areas in a dance place, and you can all of a sudden find that, you know, there's an attraction, isn't there, of bodies, and that sort of group of people coming together to form that one thing, and you're moving in time together, and that is such a lovely feeling.
Exactly. I mean, for me, it's just such a feeling of unity as well. But tell us about dancing in your family, because you're big on dancing in your family.
Yes,
tell us about that.
Yes, and my sister was a professional dancer and ballet dancer, did modern tap, you know, and appeared on various stages in
Sadler's Wells.
Everywhere, and All England champ finalists, and won things like All England competitions for dancing. So yeah, very, very accomplished, and a very accomplished choreographer as well as dancer. So yeah, and then my little sister on the other end of the spectrum was very much into her dance music, and was out very regularly with dancing. And so yes, as a family, we've always danced, always had great rhythm, and actually it's also that feeling, you know, you feel the music, don't you? You feel that, you know, you feel the beat, you know, and you get really into that. And the other thing I love about music as well is that feeling of, you know, the hairs stand up on your arm or on the back of your neck and things, and it's that feeling. Why is it doing that? What's happening there?
I actually don't know. I need to look into this, and I'm sure people will comment. Like, if there are some scientists listening to this, please tell us why are the hairs standing up? Why does it happen? You get this kind of euphoric feeling, and you just feel like uplifted. Even talking about it makes me happy. I love it so much. So that's your story of dancing. Well, mine is that I was dancing since I was basically probably in nappies, but I was doing ballet as well as a little girl, and then modern. And my sister also was danced from the age of 3 all the way up to the time she went to university, did all types of shows, All England finals as well, dances that as well. So the whole family sort of around that dance environment. But again, just put the music on in the kitchen, and any excuse to dance. And then as I got older, I was in different music bands and doing music shows and things like that. And I really got into my electronic dance music. That's what they call it now.
EDM.
Yeah, we call it dance music, but they call it electronic
EDM.
Dance. I know, because we were a slightly older generation.
Oh, yes.
But we loved our dance music. And we just went out. I loved electronic dance music from the time I started not listening to it. I wouldn't listen to it on the radio and things, because I'd want to be in a club.
Oh, yeah.
And so from the time that I was about maybe in my late teens, I would go out clubbing and just find any excuse at the weekend, and sometimes only have enough money to get into the venue. I didn't have enough money to even buy a drink. I would just have some water from the tap because I just wanted to dance. I would dance and dance and dance all night. First person on the dance floor, last person to leave. I loved it. And it just brought me so much joy. And then the whole of the kind of 90s dance scene, you were really into that as well.
Yeah,
so tell us about that.
Well, actually, even before that, if I may say that, I mean, being 15, I used to go to the ice rink up at Richmond, and we used to have a Friday and a Saturday night disco, what we would sort of call a disco session. Yeah. Well, that would have been 1981 or 1981. And so that was the time around sort of Human League. But of course, the place was absolutely packed. I remember that they used to say to me, every week they used to have 1,000 sets of hire skates, and they were all out. And then there were all of the guys that had skates like me that were there as well. So you probably have, approaching 1,200 people on one little ice rink, all doing the disco at the same time. And that was fantastic. Yeah, I also then got into the dance music, and used to love going out on a Friday night with my friends. Yeah. But even better was when we were going somewhere, from where I was in the home counties, there may be an event on in Birmingham.
Wow.
And then we'd be sort of, getting a cheap travel in or travel lodge type room, but then making that, that sort of almost pilgrimage to the dance venue.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And the way people dressed up, and if anyone remembers the 90s dance scene, lots of,
Neon
fluorescent neon girls with like fluffy boots on and everything, and everybody made up glow sticks and like spotty, glow in the
sort of makeup
UV things, and the scene was brilliant, and everybody made a massive effort for dressing up and going out, and had a fantastic time.
Oh my goodness, I was out as well, and I loved going out. Our friendship group were probably less affluent than you, because we were students with so we all just had about enough money to get into the club. Sometimes some people didn't have enough money to get into the club or the party, so we would all club together to pay for that person.
Brilliant.
And we would all drive in a big convoy to either a venue, or we were involved in all of the raves. So
in the middle of a field.
Yeah, you didn't have any of that.
Mine was all organised.
So what would happen? We would get into a club somewhere like Brighton, and then we would find out that there'd be specific places after the club, and then you would go there, and it was always me finding out where the party was, and then they'd be like, okay, just follow us in the car, and then we just end up following people in a car in a convoy to get to this field in the middle of nowhere where there'd be a massive sound system, and we just keep on dancing and watch the sun come up.
Oh, brilliant.
It was amazing, freezing cold, and then somebody would always have a little fire pit going on somewhere, and we would just dance, and I just loved it. I loved like the feeling of everyone, people from any background, from every background coming together, and this feeling of there being no separation. And awesome. I loved that, and that's what some of the research is picking up as well.
Is it?
It's picking up that is one of the things that happens, is that kind of feeling of movement, and movement of people together, groups of people together moving together, really has a beneficial effect on our mood, on our ability to communicate with each other, and we can say that's actually what happens, isn't it?
Yes.
You get complete strangers just talking to each other, dancing together, smiling, having fun, connecting, sometimes sharing some quite deep stories and things.
Yes, it's lovely. It's
I
lovely.
Love it so much.
Yeah, it breaks down those barriers, doesn't it, for
really,
people to communicate.
Really does.
And the other thing about the research as well is that is talking some of the articles there is talking about the biohacking side of things.
Yes,
and that's something that I'm really passionate about. Is that wellness side. So not only is the dance improving your mental and cognitive function, a little bit of working out without really trying.
You don't feel it.
But also, if you're combining that as well with a little bit of biohacking.
That's right.
Should we talk a tiny bit about biohacking and what that means?
Well, I mean, what does it mean to you?
Well, it's taking that holistic view, just looking down at everything that you're doing within your body to stay well. And these can be simple things like getting good quality sleep.
Yes.
And having, making sure that your body you've got the right nutrients, and you could be taking a few supplements. And a lot of us in the winter take, say, vitamin C as a supplement, and vitamin D, and even the GPs are on board with these things these days now, and saying, these are the things for sort of wellness. So a little bit of movement, looking after your brain in terms of dancing, and staying active and getting good quality sleep. So that's my take on biohacking.
Biohacking, I agree with that definition. It's really about trying to stay well for as long as possible in your life. So it's not about extending life necessarily, because you can extend your life but be unwell for 30 years.
I see.
Whereas my understanding of really kind of getting to the core of it is about developing a lifestyle that gives you good quality life for as long as possible.
Right.
And I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
I'm on board with having a great quality life, and enjoying as much every day. And I think dancing, we incorporate it into our wellness, our wellness as much as we can, so that we look forward to going out to specific events for dancing, but also dancing at home.
Yeah, dancing at home, or even festivals. I mean, it's something to look forward to if you've got something that's coming up, and it could be the village fete or it could be a festival. But and then and I think actually you go to certainly in local airfield they might have a live band. and everyone's up dancing.
Amazing.
And having a lot of fun.
Yes.
And it just brings everybody, it's that unity, isn't it?
I love it so much. Talk about festivals now.
Well, festivals. I mean, I have never been a festival goer because of my thinking around it is it's going to be uncomfortable. And of course, you hear things on television or see the Glastonbury Mudfest, and you think, oh, everybody's in muddy tents with wellies on for 3 or 4 days. And that's never quite really, I'm a bit more of a comfy bed and hotel room type person. So,
but you went to one.
But I did go to one, yes, and I had a great time. It actually ended a bit too early for me. I think that everything started shutting down at 2 a.m. And
the night is still young.
That was, and so, and the tents were shutting down and things at that time. And I think it could have gone on till 4. And that would have been good.
Even better. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm a massive festival goer. I did Glastonbury several times. I played at Glastonbury in my dance music days, and I just loved it. Again, it's like bringing together people in a kind of environment where it's about connecting with each other and meeting new people and dancing with new people and listening to really great music and being just in an environment where all you're there to do is enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think would you say that people are surprised by the kinds of music we go out dancing to? So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I would say that, no, people, I wouldn't say they were surprised, but I think that when people see, if we go out to these places and you actually then think, oh, you're there with, everybody dancing. And then you suddenly realize when somebody says to you, oh, it's great that you guys are still coming out. And you're sort of like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. As a grandfather... And I'm still going out, and the youngsters are saying, and of course
they come and high five us.
They come and high five us, and they come and dance with us.
They come and dance with us
because obviously we're showing the young ones how to move, and so all of that is fantastic. So I absolutely love that. And,
I love it.
But you do forget. You then suddenly, I don't know about our listeners, but I suddenly think when I'm out dancing, I could be 20.
I know, and you lose all focus on time and space.
Yeah.
You enjoy yourself. You connect with other people. You are completely immersed in the music, and I mean, for us, we just dance like no one's watching anyway. We don't really care what people think. Sure. And I think because we just enjoy ourselves so much, it makes other people around us. It's very infectious. So we end up with a mob of people around us when we're dancing, enjoying ourselves. And for me, the mood upliftment, like it lasts for weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe even months, because now look, I'm just thinking about all of these events and things that we've gone to, and I feel happy thinking about it.
Yes, yeah. So in fact, actually, even the other day, I'm one of these people, as you know, who goes back through my phone sometimes, and I made a little TikTok, and I added some slightly different music to the TikTok, to the one that was actually playing, and it was actually good fun. But it was from a video that we'd shot out about a year ago, and actually to repurpose that, you're actually back in the place, and it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. We end up in places with a lot of student crowd of young people, slightly maybe venues not that are kind of high end, but we don't care because it's all about the music.
All about music and having fun.
Music and just having fun and very like low key and just turn up your trainers on with your sneakers on and with your hoodie and then you just enjoy yourself. Just dance and not worry about it. Dance like no one's watching.
Yeah, and actually in some of these places we're pretty much the last to leave.
that is true. That is true. So in terms of biohacking for dance, I mean, let's talk about that and why we're talking about it on Sweet Liberation. And I think one of the things we are all about is about enjoyment of life, bringing families together through simple things that they can do to enjoy life. And dancing is just the easiest and simplest thing, because even if you don't have a radio, there are cultures where there are no electricity and they are just drumming and dancing.
Yeah.
It's just so primal. It brings up this kind of primal instinct to move with rhythm, right? It's so primal.
You get with the tribe.
Exactly.
But whether it's your family together, or whether it's a group of people.
Yes.
Yeah. And plan a day. I mean, have some friends over or have the children over because even the adults can mix in with the kids on the dance.
That's the thing, and really it's kind of, and that multi-generational experience that is very much that's something that we have in Latin American culture, I would say, and probably Southern European culture more than the Northern European cultures. One of the things we we tend to do is have multi-generational parties. So it's not just the young people or just the old people. We have like, you know, grandma and the toddlers and everyone dancing together, and these kind of events where they're family events, and it's okay, you know, there's nothing too excessive going on there, and everyone's just enjoying themselves. Is that part of the culture here, or not so much?
Not so much, no. Yeah, I think culturally here, people aren't quite as outgoing in terms of actually getting things, getting things together. But you know, I certainly looking at the in terms of some of this research here, you know, talking about some of how some of our listeners can get engaged.
Yeah.
You know, picking a song and dancing for 10 minutes a day, that looks like a fantastic
that's
thing.
so easy. I would just say the easiest way to get started, obviously, just pick music that you love and put it on your phone in the kitchen. That's literally the easiest way. You can download our Sweet Liberation app, and you've got playlists in there as well.
We can really good.
Yeah, really
We've got
cool.
some dance playlists you can do. Just put it on the background.
Share your favourite playlist with us, and we can put them in the app. But just put your favorite music on and just put it on in the background whilst you're cooking, and just have these are things you can do even when there's no time in the day, because you've got to cook your food and prepare. It's going to take you more than 10 minutes to do that. But if you move in the kitchen for 10 minutes with some music on, feel how that makes you feel, and it uplifts your mood. It uplifts.
And let us know. I mean, it'd be
let
lovely
us know how it
hear
goes. So easy
what
hacks.
People are doing. Easy hacks.
And then you get your steps in that day just from moving a little bit in the kitchen. You know. So maybe taking little breaks through the day where you put a little bit of music on your earpods, even if you're at work. Maybe you don't want to be dancing in front of your colleagues, but you could put the music on and just think, I'll be listening to that in the kitchen later on, and just going for it and just having fun. It's all about making everyday life things that are good for us fun.
Yes.
Way different to going, I've got to go to the gym now.
Well, let me give you another little hack that I think is what I do, is that one of the things I try to do is go for a walk 3 times a week. Not very far, but there were studies done by Michael Mosley with one of the BBC documentaries, and he showed that actually he could reduce people's cholesterol without the use of any medication. And he said it's 3 times a week for a walk. So I was doing that. And if you put some earphones in and you're listening to some music, you end up walking in time with, and that's dancing of a fashion, because you're walking and dancing, and actually it doesn't feel like a chore, it doesn't feel like hard work, and the time flies by.
So that's a hack, that's movement. And for somebody that wants to stay at home, or hasn't even got time to go out of the house to do that, but to put the music on in the house. And if you're working from home, taking some breaks during the day where you put a little bit of music on for a minute or 2 minutes, and just giving yourself that mental well-being break where it uplifts you. And I just think there's just those little things through the day, and then planning events and gatherings where you can maybe do something that doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be outlandish. I mean, we like going to events and things, but you don't have to go that far. You could just invite some friends over and share your playlist, get one of those little Bluetooth speakers, and just kind of, so it's your turn to do your playlist now, and we're all having, a couple of drinks and maybe a barbecue or something like that, and just put the music on in the background and just enjoy moving. And getting everyone
involved.
Party,
isn't it?
Little mini party. And why not?
Why not? It's brilliant.
So easy. So what do you think your takeaways are from finding out about the science around dance?
Well, I knew that, there've been those studies, and some of the things you told me recently about, there was a tribe, I'm not sure where they were, but they have a culture of dancing all the time. And then it's shown that they're the longest lived people on the planet, and they're integrating dance all the time. And that is something. So there's obviously a feast in the evening. People are coming together for a meal, aren't they? And then they're dancing.
I love it.
Then those sorts of cultures. So my takeaway is, look at the good, the actual solid proof that having a bit of movement and a bit of dance, and how that's going to affect the brain, and how that's going to affect you in terms of the physicality and being a little bit fitter if you're not moving around very much. And then think, do you know what, my passport to a little bit more fitness and cognitive function, dance could be the answer.
That is for sure. For me, it's going to be part of me until I am gone. I will just continue dancing and enjoying myself, because it's the thing that brings me so much joy. in my life, music and dance. And they are things that will keep me well physically, mentally, and emotionally, and take you through times where you're like, you really need that resilience bank. And putting the music on has helped me in that. And sometimes just moving in a more kind of getting it, the feelings and the emotions out of your body through music is really good. I mean, some of the harder, for instance, dance or rock music, you could just go, I just gotta just move around. If you get that frustration out in that very healthy way.
In that healthy way, yes. Now, I just want to share with our listeners, don't do what I did. Now, I have to explain this clearly. 3 or 4 years ago, Nabila asked me if I would send a playlist across. So I thought to myself, yes, I'll do that. So I thought to myself, oh, what would be my top 20 all-time favorite tracks? And I emailed you that list, didn't I? And it wasn't, and you said, no, Luke, that isn't actually a playlist. So if you've got a playlist and you want to share it with us, that it doesn't mean send us an email with a list of your top 20 favorite all-time tracks.
Put it on YouTube.
Put it on YouTube.
Or somewhere like that. We'd love to have your playlist. We want to know from you, what is your favorite music to dance to? What do you love about dancing? Do you use dancing to uplift you? Are you happy to hear, I'm basically guiding you through this, are you happy to hear that dance is scientifically proven to, or demonstrating that it's really good for you? I mean, for me, I was going to do it anyway, but the science backs up the fact that I should be doing more of it. So I'm just going to go, I'm here dancing because the scientists say it's a good idea. So that's just me now, backed up by science. What do you think about the research? Does it make you happy? And how do you use dance? Are you going to be dancing more? Have we inspired you to go out a little bit more?
And people may even take it to another level. I mean, something I've always on my bucket list is I'd like to go to have some ballroom dancing lessons. And this time of year, there's we see Strictly come dancing on TV, and we're all kind of inspired to that because there's so many millions of people watch it, right? So yeah, something like that, learning something, starting off very, with something quite basic like a waltz or a two-step. Those are the places to start, and that's something that I would love to do. As soon as I've got a bit of time, sign up at my local dance school and get some lessons.
That would be amazing. Well, on my side, I'm going to keep on dancing like nobody's watching. And I would like to have some dance classes. That sounds like good fun. But I love listening to different people's music from different parts of the world and just finding out how they dance. So I've been to so many different parties from different traditions and cultures, and I love it. So we would love it if you could share with us your playlists and maybe even photos of you dancing. If you've got any photos or you want to share the events that you go to, we would love to see them.
And in terms of, as well, if there's anything that you've done and you've said, I've specifically gone there, and the uplifting feeling that came from that was, share those experiences and how it made you feel.
Exactly.
That's what we'd love to know.
Simple things to make life joyous and wonderful. And I think how wonderful to know that the science is now backing up the idea that dancing is good for us, and that we should be doing more of it, and that it's good for our mind, our body, our soul, and it could even improve our quality or even length of life. How exciting. Wow. So with that said, we're going to love you and leave you. Any lasting words you want to leave the listeners and viewers with, Luke?
I think, embrace it and have fun. That's the thing. Everything, think about life as, it is a journey, but enjoy it.
Enjoy as much as you can, have pockets of joy through your life and feel good about it, because it is that joy that will uplift you, that will give you the bank of resilience you need to face challenges and growth periods in life. And it gives you that wonderful thing to look forward to. And I'm looking forward to our next outing and going out.
I'm interested. Now we're wrapping up now, but I'm going to go away and do some research, because I believe that feeling that you get from dance probably even improves your resilience to things like coughs and colds, and your immune system must be improved. But that is something I'm going to go away and have a little bit of research. If anybody knows the answer to that, please let us know.
Please let us know. We'd love that. And just to think that we are actually conducting therapeutic interventions when we go out dancing. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Therapeutic interventions.
I'm on a therapeutic intervention this weekend.
Oh, great.
Great, let's do it.
Brilliant.
With that said, we'll love you and leave you, and we can't wait to hear all of your feedback, comments, and stories on dancing. And with that said, we'll love you and leave you, and we will join you again for our next episode of Sweet Liberation. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Keep dancing.